Well, look who's back. Welcome to another episode of How I Failed in Business. I'm Sophia Grace, and it feels like forever since we last recorded.
It really does. And I'm Rob Spence. Look, we know it's been a while, but don't worry. We're back for now, refreshed and ready to dive into more business blunders, bad decisions, and the unexpected lessons that come with them.
Consider this our reboot episode, getting back into the swing of things, sharing some laughs, and of course, bringing back your favourite game.
Fail or fiction. And trust me, today's edition might just be the wildest one yet. I'll be honest, I don't think it is. And there is another reason for this impromptu episode.
Yes, that's right. We have something to share with you. Some news, should we say.
Sorry, yes, absolutely. But before we break anything to you, Sophia, how have you been? It's been a hot minute.
It's been good. We haven't sat down and recorded since, I want to say maybe November time, properly.
Is that really how long it's been?
I think so.
It seems like a long time. You're probably right. November is a long time. We recorded our awards episodes.
Yes, in January.
Even that was a long time ago. And a massive apologies to anyone that's not had their award yet. They are sat in the studios waiting to be sent out, and we will get those organised at some point. But it's been so long. Even trying to get things set up has been an absolute nightmare, because I couldn't remember how things have been, how things are set.
Got old school chairs.
Yeah.
Sat nice and comfy.
And do you know what? Yeah. I mean, what are the overall opinions on the chairs?
We've got some conflicting opinions, because me and Molly were always a no.
Yes. Yeah.
There were other visitors that were also a no, but we are currently recording a podcast for some other amazing podcasts, and they love the chairs.
They do. And look, can I just say, for anyone that is watching this on YouTube, and if you're not, go ahead and take a look. They're quite ugly, right? I'm not going to beat around the bush. They're not as pretty as I thought when I first saw them on Facebook Marketplace. But my gosh, are they comfortable?
They are.
You see, look, Sophia's yawning away.
What is wrong with me?
She could go to sleep any minute.
I was just saying, I've only had one coffee this morning, which is apparently nowhere near enough for me.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think I have read that people that regularly have coffee, all that coffee does is bring them back to like a normal level.
Right.
So if you don't have enough, you're way below what an average person is at in terms of energy levels.
Right, I'm with you.
So basically, I'm just needing another fix, I think, is where I'm at with this.
So you're not trying to purposely cut down on the coffee then? Or are you?
No, I've just been metaphorically rushed off my feet.
It has been a busy couple of weeks, to be fair. And of course, we can't neglect the fact that Molly is sat again, as always, behind the camera, behind the microphone. How are you, Molly?
I'm good, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Hi.
As always, she's ever ready, ever prepared.
Yeah.
How does it feel sort of being sat behind the camera again?
It's weird. It feels like so long since we filmed, really.
Yeah, it really does. And it's weird because it's quite rare that we record an episode like this on camera.
Yeah.
Normally, the only episodes we record on camera, bar some specials, have been with guests.
Yeah.
So it's kind of gets I still feel like a fraud because we've got like our show notes in
I know.
front of
I
us.
feel like people don't usually know that we've got a little script going when we do our overview intros.
It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. But I was going through my phone. Well, I wasn't going through my phone the other day, but came up on my memories. But the How I Failed in Business podcast, we've been filming for just over a year now, I think it is. Ever since our sort of first pilot episode. So it's been a long time. And
it really has.
A long time to kind of sit back down and record. But hasn't it been fun recording podcasts for other people?
It really has. It really has. I've been stepping into producer shoes and producing some other podcasts, which has been so much fun. They've all been such great value. And it's so nice to have the podcast that we get to work on in our like wider sphere also be so incredible.
Yeah.
To work on.
What do you prefer more? Do you prefer being sort of in the presenter seat or the producer seat?
I mean, you get to. Yeah, I don't know. You have to be constantly on when you're actually on camera, when you're actually mic'd up, and you've got to think of what to say and think of all this. And then when you're producing, in some ways you do get to relax more, but there's actually, I would say, more pressure on you, because if that camera's not going, if that audio is not going, if there's some problem with that, you can't cut and edit that stuff out.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
if you make a mistake on camera, you can go back. If a mistake's been made in the production, then what?
That's a good. But I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And we found this out yesterday for my other podcast, The Sales Circle. It turns out the audio on one of the clips just null and void, just not there, which I still don't know what I've done or why that happened. But it's quite nice to see kind of both sides of the table, though. We've been recording Lawfully Yours, which has been great with Geraldine and Vicky, and they've had some great guests.
They have, yeah. We've done 6 of them at the time of recording this.
Yes, yeah, due to be released early April. So, of course, if you're into any sort of like law, would you say law and legal?
Law and legal, but even, I mean, I'm a complete novice in any of it, and it's just nice to, they really put it back into layman's terms, but then get into the nitty gritty of it. So I'd say you could pick it up from any level. It's just been fantastic.
100%. And to be fair, some of their guests, and I point at this chair over here because that's normally where the guests have been sat, they've been great to listen to.
Yeah.
Really good.
They've got a real mix of people. They
have. And of course, even later on today, at the time recording, we're recording some more sessions for and I'm so sorry, I always forget the way around it is. It's the Divorce, Separation and Parenting Apart podcast with Lucy and Katie, who have been guests on our podcast, but actually turned into a banned episode.
It's in the vault.
That we can't talk about. Yeah. And it's not, do you know what? I think I woke up the other day. It wasn't the first thing I thought about because that'd be weird. But I think I love being able to share people's stories and just being a storyteller. I love presenting and I love presenting with you and I love being on this side. But actually sometimes kind of spending a bit more time thinking about how we can get someone's story out has been good, hasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Well, look, obviously we've got some news to share with you all and we're going to share that with you later on in this episode. But just to kind of reinvigorate some memories, just to kind of get our brains working again, shall we go through one of my favourite games, Fail or Fiction?
Let's do it.
Molly's remembered the music. Cue the music. So for those of you listening or watching at home, Fail or Fiction is a game that we play every single week. And I've got 3 stories to share. Now, one of them, let me just make sure I've done this right. One of them is false. One of them is completely fake. 2 stories are true. Okay. Now, normally, obviously, if we've got a guest, it'll be you against the guest. I say, because this is an internal podcast, I think it should be you versus Molly. What do we think?
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Happy with that?
Yep.
Okay. And of course, for those of you listening or watching along at home, please do play along. So, allow me to start with the first story. The $1 billion typo. So story 1, a major bank accidentally sent $900 million to hedge fund clients due to a simple clerical error. Even worse, the court later ruled that they couldn't get it all back. $900 billion. No, $1 million, sorry. Story number 2, the world's most expensive selfie. A well-known luxury watch brand spent £5 million on a celebrity endorsement campaign featuring an exclusive ambassador who was supposed to showcase the brand's image. The main problem was that they were caught in public taking selfies wearing a competitor's watch. The brand immediately pulled the deal, but the damage was done. Ready for story 3? The vanishing skyscraper. A London-based real estate developer broke ground on what was supposed to be the UK's tallest residential tower. Halfway through construction, it was discovered that they had no official planning permission due to an administrative oversight. The project was halted, millions were lost, and the unfinished building still stands as a legal mess. So 3 stories. 2 of them are true. 1 of them are false. Which one do you think is the false story?
Have you got one immediately that you're like, not
Potentially.
Sure?
I've not heard of any of them.
Okay.
So I've not really got an incline, but there's one that I'm like,
Just a brief sidebar. Do either of you bank with NatWest? No, I don't. But Isaac does, and apparently they're doing something where they're sending £50 to everyone that banks with them.
Right.
But that's costing them £6 million.
Really?
And Isaac was saying, why don't they just give 6 people £1 million and do it like a gamble? He was like, I'm annoyed that I'm getting £50. What's £50? But if I was in it to win it,
okay. It's kind of like
or 250 1,000 split it.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume, I don't know why they're doing it, but I assume, because I think like the big high street banks, I'm going to put it out there, are shit.
They are shit.
And I think like people are moving over to the likes of Monzo and other great online banks. And I think that I wonder if it's just down to turnover of customer potentially.
Well, it's trying to buy loyalty, but buying it for £50.
50 quid. Yeah. What are you going to spend the 50 quid on?
6 bottles of wine.
Okay, so you've gone for the £9 bottles.
Yeah.
Have I done my maths right there? I think I have. So, the vanishing skyscraper, the typo, or the selfie?
I think the typo.
You think that's a true story or a false story? False story. Okay. Why would you think that?
I don't really know. I just don't think that sort of amount would have been in a typo.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess maybe like a comma in the wrong place kind of thing. The watch one, I think maybe sounds the most believable. For them to just be endorsing something but actually use something else. I feel like that happens quite a lot. To disagree with Molly, I'll say the third one I think is a lie.
So you think that was the skyscraper was a lie. Okay. Molly, what are you locking in with?
The typo.
The typo. I can reveal that the typo was actually a true story. Oh, Molly, sorry. So yeah, in 2020, Citibank accidentally wired $900 million to lenders of Revlon due to a clerical error. Some recipients refused to return the money, and a court later ruled that they didn't have to. One of the most expensive banking blunders in history. Imagine that. Do you know what? Because I heard, love him or hate him, James Watt, the founder of Brewdog, he did something similar. He hit one of his assistants, put the wrong bank details down for like this massive investment deal. So like £50 million or something went to a complete wrong bank, and it took them ages to get it back. They'd like missed or miswrote a digit or something. But imagine being that person that's clicked the wrong button or pressed the wrong thing. You wouldn't
blacklisted forever.
You would not live with yourself. So sorry, Molly. I'm afraid you're out of the running. So we've still got the two stories, vanishing skyscraper and the most expensive selfie. One of them is true, one of them is false. Are you sticking with your answer?
Yeah.
Okay, so you believe that the vanishing skyscraper is a false story.
Yeah.
Final chance.
Oh my goodness sake. I'm sticking.
Sticking? Okay. Well, I can tell you that the vanishing skyscraper is a made-up story. Sophia, you win. Well done. So we'll come on to the skyscraper in a minute. But yeah, so the world's most expensive selfie. I can never say this brand correctly. Hopefully one of you could maybe correct me. Actually happened with Tag Heuer.
Yeah.
Is that how we say it?
I don't know.
Tag Heuer and Cristiano Ronaldo. So we'll just say Tag.
Yeah.
It's probably easier. Paid Ronaldo millions to promote their watches, only for him to be caught posting selfies wearing a Rolex. The brand pulled back on their association, and it was an expensive PR disaster. So that leads us to the vanishing skyscraper. So although sometimes these things do happen, no major UK landscape was ever abandoned halfway through. Obviously, if you're going to get that far, you've got to go through some rigorous checks and everything else in between. So Sophia, well done.
Yes.
Proud of you. Well done.
Not lost it.
No, still got it. I mean, that takes to the end of Fail or Fiction. So well done. Was it nice playing the game again?
It was very nice.
It was good. I was umming and ahhing whether to play Fail or Fiction, Mystery Mishaps, or Jingle Tingle. And I'll be honest, I thought it was easier just to do Fail or Fiction. But I like Fail or Fiction.
It's nice.
Classic.
I like it.
It is a classic. It is a classic. And is that soundtrack now just emblazoned in your in your mind now? Me. I love it. Well, look, one of the reasons for this impromptu, sort of out of the blue episode is to make an announcement. Isn't it?
It is.
It is. So we've got some news to share. And we thought the best way to kind of share that news would be to kind of bring it back to the pod and to talk about it on the podcast. So we should have probably plan this out. Who do you think should be best to share the news?
You go.
Okay.
You're like, no.
Okay, so the news is, I think the best thing to do is pull off the plaster, pull off the wax strip sooner rather than later. The news is that Sophia will be leaving the podcast.
Yes, which is sad news.
Very sad news. On good terms.
Yes.
I want to make really clear, on good terms. Sophia, why are you leaving?
I'm leaving the podcast, not because I've hated doing the podcast, but because I am leaving the Paragon umbrella to pursue a different opportunity.
100%. Yeah.
A different opportunity, and therefore I shall be relocating and all sorts of different things. And that's my time with the podcast. Unfortunately, very, very sadly, has also wrapped up and come to an end.
Yeah. And it will be, look, I think your new opportunity, if I put my business hat on, will be great for you. I was saying to someone earlier, I think it's a great opportunity that you can't let down. And as sad as it will be to see you leaving the business, I think I don't begrudge you in the slightest, because I think you're going to absolutely kill it. You're going to absolutely smash it. And that employee you're going to go join, I hope they understand how lucky they are to have you. And if not, send them a clip of this. But of course, we did talk about, obviously,
yes.
Leaving the business doesn't necessarily mean leaving the pod. We've not kind of kicked you off the podcast. We did talk about maybe trying to keep it going, but I think logistically it would just be.
But absolutely, I'll be back for whatever incarnation the podcast has become, at least as a guest.
100%, yeah. We'd have you back in an instant, and I want to kind of we've planned out a special episode to be released this Friday.
Yes.
To come out this Friday, so make sure you stay tuned. We're going to kind of cover off some surprises.
And I have no idea what these surprises are.
No, Molly doesn't even know. And in my head, I'm trying to work out logistically how I'm going to make it happen. But in true Rob Spence style, we'll make it work somehow. But look, so in terms of, Sophia going, it's going to be really sad. I'm going to really miss sort of you being there.
Absolutely.
In terms of the podcast, for you fans of the podcast, please don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. We've had Sophia's blessing to move on with our lives and to find another co-host. So we've got plans for season 2, which we've been speaking about for a while anyway. Those plans for season 2 will still go on. We just need a bit more time to to get them fine-tuned.
It's going to be amazing, I have no doubt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I hope so. It'll be, look, I'll speak openly for a second. It's going to be bloody weird. It's going to be so weird sort of sat here doing it with someone else. But, I think, when we've talked about what we're going to do with the podcast, we have discussed, shelving it, pausing it, stopping it, you coming in and doing what you can. But I think really there's a lot of fans of the podcast out there, which we're very thankful for. And it'd be rude and wrong to kind of just cancel. So, look, that chair will always be yours. Okay? You can take it if you want.
On that one.
No, that's staying. That chair will always be yours. And, I'll kind of say my thank yous and so on in the next episode. But I'm so thankful that we were able to kind of do the podcast together, because without you, we wouldn't be kind of in this situation. Not situation, that sounds harsh. And I don't think we'd have the studios and everything else. So a massive thank you. And a massive thank you for you listening or watching at home, for sort of the support over the past year. As I said, the podcast goes on, unfortunately, heartbreakingly, without Sophia. So on Friday, we will release a special episode with a bit of a farewell to Sophia. So please do stay tuned. That will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Not too sure on what time on Friday, because we are so stacked.
Yeah.
But even if it's like 1 minute to midnight, it's coming out on Friday without fail. Before we wrap up, Sophia, is there anything you want to say?
I guess just a really big thank you. I mean, we've thanked the listeners and everyone watching, but I would, of course, like to thank you just for the fact that we ever did the podcast. Over a year we've been doing this now.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. It's been so much fun and so much opportunity and so much personal development from me has come from it, which has been amazing. Thank you to Molly for working on it so hard as well. And just, I guess, for everyone that's made it what it is now. And I can't wait to see what it's going to be.
Thank you. Look, you're going to come back as a guest. You're going to come back as a special guest as often as possible. And the three of us, we've still got some plans to go and do some podcast research.
I'm going to talk about all my new business fails as I enter my new career.
Hopefully you won't be sending sort of $900 billion or whatever it was to the wrong company.
I really hope not.
But look, it's been a pleasure. And look, I think that kind of wraps us up for today's episode of How I Failed in Business.
Yes, I think so. So as you guys know by now, this is one of my last episodes of the show. It has been an incredible journey. And I just want to say a really massive thank you to everyone who's listened, supported and laughed along with us.
And remember, don't worry, we're not letting Sophia sneak out of the back door just yet. This Friday, please do tune in. We're dropping a special farewell episode to celebrate her time on the podcast, relive some of our favourite moments and to send her off in style.
And I can only imagine what it is that you've got planned for that.
Don't even know the half of it. There's going to be some surprises. So if you've enjoyed Sophia's time on the show, which I'm sure you have, please do tune in on Friday to give her a big send-off. You missed a couple of lines here.
Where?
Oh, no.
Oh. It was a two-pager. It was a two-pager. Anyway, How I Failed in Business. So...
Sorry, now my phone's ringing. It's typical, isn't it? There we go. Sorry, carry on. Go. Seamless.
One last hurrah. And until then, thanks for listening. And as always, keep learning, keep growing. Don't be afraid to fail forward.
See you on Friday.
Bye.